guys, I'm Bethany.
And I'm Kristen.
And this is Looking for the Middle.
And we're back with another CouchCast.
Yay! Okay, let's
Bethany's turn to pick.
Jump right into it. Ready? Let's see what we're talking about. How important are common interests?
Great question. One of our guy friends actually
I feel like
sent
the guy
this to us.
probably asked this because
Yep.
I think they're more important to guys than they are to girls.
I agree. You want to start off with you want to go just run with that?
I have a theory on this.
Okay. Go for it.
And I think I kind of touched on it in one of our episodes previously. I think common interests are important, but I think they are more important to guys because a lot of times achieving a goal in common with an interest like this is how a lot of guys connect. Whereas you and I connect, Kristen, by doing this podcast and sitting here and talking. And then we get up, you go get your nails done, I go do whatever.
You go craft.
Yes, I go, sew something. And we're good. We don't have to have that in common.
Mm-hmm.
We've connected verbally by sitting here and talking.
Yeah.
Or you come over and we just sit on the couch for 2 hours and talk.
Yeah.
And we're good. So I think for guys, there's more connection in having a shared goal, a shared interest, than there is for girls. But we're talking to girls. Like, it's different. But I do think there's a lot of importance in that, especially in the beginning.
Agreed. Because you're trying to figure out what you want to talk about.
Yes.
And how to keep conversation going. So if you have those things in common, it's going to make it a whole lot easier.
Right. Because I know when I'm talking to a guy and you're texting or you're talking on the phone and you're just like, oh, do you like this? Or I do this. Or I like... And every time it's like, oh, well, I don't really like that. Or, oh, I'm not really into that. Or, oh, I have never heard of that.
Yeah.
You just feel like... To me, it's like you're standing up to you're in a batting cage or in a game. You're at home plate. And it's pitch after pitch after pitch. And whiff after whiff after whiff. And you strike out. You're like, okay, well, now what? So I do think there does need to be some commonality. I don't think those things have to be hobbies. I don't think those things have to be, we both like kayaking. I don't know.
Yeah.
We both have a heart for hospitality. We both have a heart for kids. We both have a heart for like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I think can be equally as important. And then he likes kayaking and I hate kayaking. Like, whatever. Like, it doesn't have to be hobby related, I don't think.
Yeah, and I think, too, it's important for you to kind of prioritize, okay, if we are going to have common interests, what are the ones I would like for us to have in common?
Yeah.
If you had to pick. So, like, for me, it's really important to me that a guy likes sports.
Me too.
I have never dated a guy that didn't play sports, much less didn't like them. That's also just kind of my type.
Well, but I like when a guy can, like, keep up with them enough to converse about them.
Yeah, because that's such a big part of my hobbies, my upbringing. My family's really into sport. Yeah. A lot of my friends are. So that's just a fun thing to have. And I love going to watching them on TV, having parties for, like, with the Super Bowl or whatever.
Yeah.
So that's I'm looking for that when I'm dating somebody, whereas I don't really care if he likes to write like I do. Or
that's a really good way of putting it. Yeah. Kind of prioritize the things that you really want to share with someone versus the things that you just really enjoy doing for yourself.
Agreed.
Like, you would still like writing whether he did or not.
Oh, absolutely.
But if he didn't like sports, then
that'd be really
it kind
difficult.
Of like takes away from you being able to enjoy that. Because I guess that's a good distinction. Some interests are communal.
Yeah.
Some are individual.
That's a good point.
So if your communal interests, sports, maybe the type of entertainment that you like, if you like going to concerts and he hates it, like,
or traveling even, things like that.
So those kinds of things I think are, having the same philosophy on travel, if you will, is more important than do you like podcasting or, whatever.
Yeah.
Like, so ones that are more of a community type thing are probably more important to have in common than the ones by yourself.
Yeah,
but know what those are. Think about that. That's a good thing to think about ahead of time.
Yeah. I think it's important to go into a relationship expecting not to have every interest in common, but being willing to look into some of his interests as you hope he would with yours too. Because, and I've always heard, if there are guys listening and I'm wrong, please feel free to call me out, but guys love to teach girls about things and to like help. I mean, how many times in do you see guys coming up behind you with like a baseball bat or a pool stick, like, oh, let me show you how. But guys like to teach girls about things. Yeah. And so if he has a hobby that doesn't repulse you, that...
Or even if it does.
I don't know, if he really likes hiking and wants to, like, I don't know.
You don't have to do it all the time.
That's true.
But I do think part of
I think you should be willing to try it.
Yeah.
And if you still don't love it, then you can be honest and be like, hey, I wanted to try it because I know this is really important to you. I don't love it.
Yeah, well, and I think, too, one thing that's almost as important is you both are going to have your interests coming into this relationship, and that's fine. But then develop common interests together.
Oh, yeah, that's a great point. And, like, try new things with each other and just experiment with
some different... Go take a cooking class.
That would be so fun. It's a great date idea.
I think it's, like, the perfect date.
Yeah.
I think that would be awesome. So, like, go do those things together. Go to a museum. Develop a like. Develop an interest in some sort of art or music or whatever. Or like you said, travel. Go to state park, like,
Yeah, take little mini, like, day trips or something. But just find out what those things are that maybe you've both been wanting to try the same thing, and what a better time now that you're together to try those things out.
Exactly.
One other thing, this is sort of on the same topic, but I do want to make this point because I'm very passionate about this, is when you start dating somebody, it is okay for you to keep your own interests.
Yes.
Even if he's not I think it is healthy for you to have your own interests and not just conform your life to his.
No.
I am a big proponent of you are still an individual person. Like, you are not just a replica of the person you are now dating.
Yes. There's nothing more frustrating, and I don't know this from a guy's standpoint because I'm only a girl, but there's nothing more frustrating for girls when your friend becomes a different person every time she's dating someone new.
Yes. It drives me crazy.
Be who you are.
Yeah.
And sure, you're going to adapt some of those interests. Y'all are going to become a couple together, and you'll have a couple identity.
Yeah.
But still be who you are. And girls, if you expect a guy to just drop his guy friends and spend all of his time with you, or, maybe he has interests that are not common, but you don't want him to go hang out with his guys and do those things because you want him to hang out with you all the time. That's not fair.
No, you've got to let him have that time and that space and that avenue to continue to do things he loves, especially if you don't want to go do them with him.
Exactly.
Like, if I date a guy and he loves to hike all the time, I'm going to be like, by all means, go hike with your friends. I may join occasionally.
Exactly.
Because I really care about you and want to be with you. But I love that you want to go do that with other people. So you can't just monopolize his entire time and schedule, nor should you let his lifestyle, hobbies, schedule monopolize your life either.
No, it's about balance. I think in all of this, what interests do you have in common? Which ones do you don't? How much time do you spend on them? It's about balance. And that will vary couple to couple to couple. I think it probably varies by age, too.
That's a good point.
Like when you're younger, like high school even. But I think by default, you're going to have a lot of the same interests because you're
running in the same
You have the same schedule. You have all the same, you're in school. You have all the same friends. Like, it's kind of dictated for you to an extent. Whereas once you're in college or out of college or, well into your 20s and 30s, that's going to look different because you're a little bit more set. You're a little bit more entrenched in your life and in those patterns.
And you've had more opportunities to branch out, too.
Exactly. So I think it'll, just kind of vary depending on your age and stage of life.
Yeah. But I do think if you go away with one takeaway, I would say that common interests are important.
Yeah.
I think it would be very difficult, not impossible, because I can't say that, but it would be super difficult to date somebody where you have no common interests, hobbies.
What would you talk about?
Yeah. Especially at the beginning, because like we've said, as we're trying to help you guys navigate dating and first dates and all of that, the quicker you can find things you have in common, the easier conversation becomes. So if that is just on total opposite ends of the spectrum, it's going to be pretty difficult.
Well, point being, like you said a second ago, difficult, or you said impossible, and so, well, probably not, but it'll be hard. Like, no, it's not impossible if the one essential common interest is that you're both pursuing Christ.
That's very true.
If that's not there, it would be impossible.
Absolutely.
If that is there, then you could have absolutely nothing else in common and make a relationship work because that is the one thing that truly matters. But it would be difficult.
Yeah, super difficult. So just keep that in mind. And like we said, think about what's really important to you. What are one or two common interests that you're really hoping a guy shares with you? And two, if you're putting yourself in atmospheres to meet those kinds of people, then that may just naturally happen and you're not going to have to be looking super hard. Like,
Yeah.
I hang out with people who like sports.
Exactly.
I'm going to meet guys that like sports.
Yeah.
So, or even just playing growing up or going to my
going
brother's
to sporting
games
events.
or whatever.
Yeah.
I was able to meet people
Mhm.
who already had that in common. So you're just putting yourself in that atmosphere automatically.
Yep.
So don't overthink it.
No.
Just go into it, try to figure out, what's most important, but then be willing to kind of experiment too with different things.
You might find things that you never knew you liked.
Yeah.
Well, and I am much more apt to try new things if there's someone else there.
It's very true.
I am not
the same
one
way.
who's going to just go take off trying all these brand new things that I've never done before because I don't like to not be good at things.
No, same.
And
I am
so
not
if there's
independently
someone
spontaneous.
else there, especially if it's a guy who wants to teach me how to do that thing.
Oh, yeah.
That gets me on the track of being good at it much quicker.
Yes.
So I'm much more apt to go try things I've never done if I'm with someone, especially a date.
Oh, for sure. Definitely.
So
yeah.
there you go.
There you go. That's how important common interests are.
Done.
Thank you to our wonderful guy friend who suggested that question.
Yes.
That's a great question.
Okay.
If you guys have more things you want us to talk about, questions, recommendations, ideas, shoot us a message on Instagram, on Facebook. You can email us. All of that is in our Instagram bio.
Yep. And on
at
the
LFTM
website.
Podcast, yes. And on our website, lookingforthemiddle.com. Lookingforthemiddlepodcast.com.
Nope, just lookingforthemiddle.com.
Okay. I should know that. It's fine. But yeah, shoot those to us and we'll keep answering these questions because they're super fun.
It is. I
And
love doing this.
yeah, and we love just basically getting to talk to each other in front of a microphone.
Yep.
So,
Alrighty. We will catch you next week with another full episode on Wednesday.
Yep.
So stay tuned. Until then, I'm Bethany.
and I'm Kristen.
And this is Looking for the Middle.